right. Machine is recording with WebEx is up. And my clock just went to 10 o'clock. It is the appointed hour. I will call the Grant County Board of Commissioners to order Monday, October 16, noting all three members present. We do have quorum. Would you all stand with me? And Mr. Wright will introduce our prayer for this morning, and then Mr. Stewart will lead us in the pledge.
Morning. We're fortunate to have Alex Husky with Ivy Tech, head of the Ivy Tech campus here at Marion, and putting a lot of good kids and students out to our community. And we want to thank you for your service to our community, Alex. So if you'd lead us in a word of prayer.
Sure. If I could ask everyone to bow your heads, please. Father, we thank you for the day that we have today to come together for this business that is at hand. You have known those who have given their lives and their time to serve. So we thank you for their commitment and for their faithfulness to this work that's being done. And now, Father, we ask you to move in a great and mighty way and bless their hearts and their minds. And Lord, let this agenda be your agenda. Let it be fruitful and let all the things that are required be dealt with. But Lord, more importantly, let this community be beneficial of the work of the hands of these who have served so diligently. And we even ask you today to be with all of us and be with the families, even in war-torn nations. Give us strength, give us peace, and give us honor in this time of great need. And Lord, we pray that your strength will be upon everyone that's even in this room, that their business may be attended to, and that they may receive results that are according to your will and your purpose. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Nicely done, sir. Please join me and face the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reverend Dr. Husky, thank
Yes.
you so much for being with us this morning.
Appreciate it.
We will move right on into our first items, current claims, minutes, and payroll. With regard to our claims, we had pre-approvals that were from the 10th of October. General invoice edit report was in the amount of $172,946.91. Other batch was $66,084.49. Highway batch was $13,311.34 for a grand total of $252,342.74. That was a pre-approval, and we would need a motion to ratify those payments.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve that as presented.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright. Any discussion on those from last go around? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. It is carried. With regard to invoice edit reports to be paid today, general invoice edit reports in the amount of $64,917.24. Other batch, $65,925.36, and a highway batch of $84,154.32. Grand total of $214,996.92. And again, that was sent to us electronically if you had the opportunity to review.
I'll make a motion that we approve the batch dated 10/16/2023.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright. Any discussion on any of those items? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. We are paying our bills today. With regard to payroll number 21, with pay date of 10/13, gross amount $570,313.54. That pre-approval was given on the 11th. Not sure why it says formal approval on the 16th, because we paid it on, pre-approval was given on the 11th, and we paid it on the 13th. That last date evidently is for today. We just need to ratify the pre-approval is what we need.
I'll make a motion that we ratify pre-approval payroll number 21.
Second.
Motion with support to ratify payroll 21. All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried. We also have two sets of minutes. One I can't do anything on. We have June 20 regular session and then July 3rd, which I was absent. If you guys want to just ramrod both through at the same time, or we can take them separately, whatever you prefer.
What dates did you say those were?
June 20 and July 3rd.
You remember that July 3rd? That's the one we got to real quick.
Is that?
You
yeah,
remember?
that-
It was just me and you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember that fondly.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for 6/20/2023 and 7/3/2023.
I'll second that.
I will always have that in as a burr under my saddle until I get a 12-minute session, and then we're done. And then you guys
Okay.
won't be able to make any more comments about it. We do have a motion with support for approval of both items. We have done the editorial work on them, so all those in favor would say aye.
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 And I'm abstaining because of one, so
Yes.
they are carried and they are a part of our record. We will move to communication and board updates from elected officials. We'll start with our auditor first. Anything you want to share with us? The throat is still sore and we will not agitate her. We do not want her to have to cough during the meeting. Other elected officials. No other elected officials, special boards. We just can say in passing, we'll let the county administrator say it so you don't have to. SRI conducted our tax sale this past Friday. We had a good showing
Mhm.
and everything went well. So we appreciate the auditor and the treasurer and everybody working together to make that positive event. I'm ready to move to IT unless we have another report. Is Marcus, did he leave the room? He's not asking for money.
That's good.
EMA, you want to come up and update us?
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
So just a couple things going on right now. We, along with the sheriff's department, we have been reaching out to some other counties in Kentucky, trying to get a better idea of what to expect on April 8th, 2024 with the solar eclipse. Commissioner Wright and I did take a trip to Indianapolis last week, which was, I thought, very informative. We picked up some tips there that we'll use for planning. Starting probably next month, we will put a task force together to start that official planning. And we'll move forward from there.
Have we gotten any projections on what type of an influx we might see since we're a part of the major belt that actually is going to get to see the whole eclipse?
It is all over the board, so really hard to pin down. Of course, weather is always an issue too, that time of year. But one major concern that we did pick up last week was rural interstate. Any areas with rural interstates can expect to have some issues. And puts us right smack dab in the middle of that, so.
I think one of my main takeaways was there was probably 8 different agencies, anything from state police to sheriff's departments, to EMA, to DNR. And when the DNR guys spoke, and they were kind of the ones who kind of headed this up, their campgrounds, their cabins, all the hotels that are in the state that's owned by the state, they're all booked already. And not only for one night, they made it for 2 nights. They were kind of taking a look at it. We're going to make some money, right?
Mhm.
And they said that. But then they're thinking, you know, this is a lot of people coming our way. So they were kind of talking 600,000 in the area of what we should expect in this band of the eclipse. And I don't know, but a couple of things that we're going to kind of follow up on. Airport out here could be very, very, very busy. People flying in, people flying right back out. And that would be probably the easiest way to travel in because they showed Kentucky when they had theirs in 2017. Is that when it was?
Yes.
2017. They were showing the interstate traffic and it's just on one side. It's not the people coming into the county. It's when it's over, everybody wants to go home. It's kind of like a race, right? And they talked about the 500, how fast you can actually get in and get out because they can change the lanes up, you know, bringing more people into the area. Then you change up the lanes while the race is going on, then you can move them away. You can't do that on an event like this because the area is so big. So I think it's going to be something that our community is going to have a big, big influx of people. I think our hotels will book out. I'm a little concerned about our airport and traffic out on I-69 and backed up to 18. I think we're going to see those kind of issues here. It'll be interesting. Glad we're Sheriff's Department, EMAs all over it and trying to figure out what we need to do. They were talking about having water available for people who get stuck on the interstate, gas because they'll run out of gas because they didn't prepare. I mean, that's the kind of things they had down in Kentucky. So be interesting.
Yeah, and it wasn't a really good comparison. That was such a narrow band that went through Kentucky. Indiana is going to be 100 miles wide, take in 48 counties, I believe it is. So it's has a wide impact. Particularly for us, we think travel from the north, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, those areas, Fort Wayne will all come down right through our interstate.
This isn't a partial eclipse. This is a total eclipse. Not the heart, but total eclipse. And it's going to be a 4-minute event. So it's not something that's just a real quick thing. This is 4 minutes of total darkness in the middle of the day. 3:07. Is that what time it was?
For Marion, Grant County, yes, 307, 310, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Any other questions for EMA?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Highway, you ready to go?
Morning.
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 Sure.
Update you on a couple projects where plans are to start paving Forest Ridge tomorrow morning. And then we're going to start on 500 East, working on it, trying to get it milled down and everything else. So a little bit different with Forest Ridge is, if you remember, if you've ever been out in that addition, it has a curb and gutter. And about half the residents or more have filled that curb in to get into their driveways. We're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to try to put mix on top of all of that and cover that gutter up. Right now, it's currently, like I said, about half of the additions already covered the gutter, so it's not really working properly. So what we're going to do is basically fill the whole gutter in and then put asphalt on all of it. So basically, it'll be at the top of the gutter, and it'll be just basically like a regular addition. So something we've never done before, but with the milling and everything else, I don't think we're still going to have issues with people's driveways being real steep to get in and out of. So that's where we're going to try to do this to eliminate that problem. So something new we've never done before, but we're going to try to see if we can make it a little bit nicer for them residents out there. The bridge on EOOW, Bridge 16 between 6 and 700 North. We're going to start on it next Tuesday. On reconstruction of that, replacing that whole bridge. So working on that. Should have an agreement with you for Bridge 712 on Branson Street, hopefully next meeting. And then also, I've also had another consulting firm look at the bridge on 14th Street here in Marion on replacing that. So hopefully I'll have those two contracts available for you guys for review and hopefully get those signed off to get started design work and everything else on that. Bridge 84, which is the one over the river on 200 South, still working on that with United, getting that ready for bid, hopefully the first of the year with Community Crossing Grant. Some other projects we're doing, the 1st of December, we've got snowplow and chainsaw training for the employees at the highway department through LTAP through Purdue. So we're getting that scheduled. We did get our building all repaired and we've got some of the concrete work done on that. The total price of the repair work was $32,000. If you remember, the check from the insurance was 23 with our deductible was 10,000, I believe it was. So we're getting that all taken care of. So
Are those posts going to be put in concrete?
they already are.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. They're already taken care of. So
Okay, good.
the other thing I was going to bring up today is we've kind of done some study work out on the EMS building that you asked me about.
Oh, yeah, the drainage.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Kind of update you a little bit. One of our employees that's been there for 30 some years told me that he knew that there was a tile that crossed Garthwaite Road that he had worked on before. So the first picture, if you see a little wooden box thing. If you look at that, and then on the other page, have some other pictures of that wooden box. Basically, that's a cistern or a catch basin that there's a 12-inch tile that goes into that. So we've done some elevation shots. We believe that we can run from that catch basin basically clear in front of the EMS building that was just constructed a few years ago. What I'd recommend is, I believe that's a 12-inch. I'd recommend running 12 that far and then go right in front of the building with a 10-inch. Hook up to all the downspouts or the gutters, so that they go right into that tile. I think Bobby will agree. I think if we can get most of that water away from there, it won't run into the doorways. And then we can also put a catch basin out there to kind of catch anything else that might come on the ground that don't go through the gutters and stuff.
That's awesome. And it's
It is.
really the most direct route to take the water.
Yeah. And if you see the picture with the tree,
Mhm.
there's about 2 or 3 trees I'd like to remove to make that a straight shot over to the corner of the south end of the southwest corner of the building. I'd like to kind of remove those trees if possible. That I think be the straightest shot we got to get there. I kind of did a little ballpark. I would say material wise, we're probably, if we can use that catch basin that's currently there, I would say we're still gonna ballpark between $6,000 and $9,000 in piping for 12-inch and 10-inch plastic plus 3 or 4 T's and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll help you gentlemen. And
Absolutely.
Well, that's one rain event
yeah, yeah,
of damage that we would have inside the
Yeah.
building.
yeah.
Uh,
And I'd recommend we go with that big of a tile, 1, to get rid of the water, 2, then we don't have to, we can pretty much lay it flat in there kind of thing. So we don't have to change a lot. There's like, in the middle of where the hump is, I should say, west of the building, we're probably going to be anywhere from 5 to 6 feet deep. So hopefully it'll be deep enough that if we do have to add on later, we can possibly do that kind of thing.
That's
So-
great.
That's great news.
So if you guys want to think about it or whatever you'd like to do.
I don't even think.
We don't need to think about it.
Okay,
Make it happen.
I'll get the pipe ordered and we'll
That's
get
exactly
started.
what we needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you don't have a problem with me removing them trees? There's some site or I don't know what they are.
I think,
They're not very good trees. Half of them is about ready to fall down
I
anyway.
think my philosophy would be as we remove the trees, we put something back
Oh, yeah.
after the fact.
Yeah.
Once we take them out, we relocate, we know where we're away from our pipes. We're not going to have root problems. We put something back in.
Okay, that's fine.
Conservation work.
Yep, that's fine with me. So that's all I got today. So,
Is 500 East going to be completely closed?
yes, for a couple days.
Oh, just a couple days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna put a membrane on that bridge. So I'm gonna have to mill the old off. I'm gonna have to put a membrane on and then we'll pave over it. But
Okay.
yeah, it'll be closed for probably 2 to 3 days at the most. So,
Perfect. Thank you.
okay.
That's good news.
Thank you,
you.
David.
Yep.
All right. I'm ready to move us to new business. And we have a presentation from the Sheriff's Department reference the Gas City MOU. Del Garcia, our sheriff, is not with us today. I see Jason Camry is going to represent him. What would you like to share with us, Jason?
Well, I'm standing in for the sheriff. He's sick today, myself and Captain Haley. So I don't know if I can answer all the questions. I know that this is something that's been in the works for some time with Gas City. Both the Sheriff's Department and Gas City feel like this is a great benefit for the city there. So it's before you. I don't know if you have any questions of me. I'll do the best I can to answer.
I think this is the same attitude, if not the exact duplicate of what we've been doing with the other schools.
Yes.
And so it just gets us another opportunity to serve the community. I would be in favor,
Likewise.
I as well.
since this has to do with a MOU. We do have to sign off on this. We'd need a motion to adopt the MOU with Gas City regarding the inmate work crew.
Mr. President, I would make a motion that we pass an agreement to provide an inmate work crew to the city of Gas City.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Wright, second, Mr. Stewart. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. It is carried. We'll get the paperwork signed and over to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Medical director appointment, is Dawn in the room? I'm looking right at you and I'm going, is Dawn in the room? Do you want to come up and talk to us about this? I don't have any paperwork right in front of me.
I'm not sure. Justin has the appointment paperwork, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Woods has agreed to.
Doesn't exist.
Oh, I thought you said okay, never mind.
Health officer,
Never mind.
not medical.
There's no such thing as paperwork
Okay.
for this appointment, apparently. She's agreed to accept our position for medical director. She's went over our protocols. Everything's kosher.
So we're asking Dr. Woods to not only take care of health department, but then to take the medical director appointment for EMS. She would give insight and her name to your process as well. Do we have a start date for her and end date for Dr. Rudolph?
We want to do it on a payroll day. What is that? This coming Monday? I think so.
23rd, the start of payroll.
I believe it is, yeah. Twenty-third's fine. I think we talked about that too. Now, she won't be here. She's gonna be out of town, but it won't matter. She doesn't have to be present to work her magic.
As long as she's giving the supervision.
Mhm.
She's already signed the protocols. She's already signed off on them. Everything's, all we have to do is send them off to the state. It's completely formality.
And so we're asking Dr. Rudolph's last day to be October the 22nd and Dr. Woods to assume the responsibility on the 23rd. So that is the recommendation coming from EMS. We would have to adopt that into our records as the appointment.
I'll make a motion that we approve Dr. Woods as the medical director.
Second.
With that understanding of the 22nd as the last day, 23rd is the beginning
Mhm.
day.
Correct.
Mr. Stewart has made that motion for Dr. Woods to assume the medical director appointment for EMS. Mr. Wright seconded that. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have insurance renewal proposal. Michelle Bunker of IMG is with us. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure today. I am Michelle Bunker with Insurance Management Group, and I am the benefits consultant for the Grant County Government Benefits. I do truly appreciate serving all of you and your employees. It brings me pride to be able to serve those that I'm neighbors with. So thank you. I love being able to work toward better health outcomes for all of us. So with that being said, I will state that I'm here to propose all of the recommendations for the 2024 benefits. We did do a full remarket on your stop loss, your pharmacy benefit manager, along with all of the ancillary benefits. Through this remarket, obviously our goal is to work toward cost containment strategies, what financial programs are available, who has better enhanced benefit packages. Are we just overall in a great position to move forward just with not only taking care of the employees and less disruption, but the fiduciary responsibility with your plan as well. So the recommendation summary for 2024 benefits are as follows. Maintain the medical and pharmacy plan designs that are currently in place to continue to incentivize members to utilize lower cost providers. In this situation, both members and Grant County government will save dollars. So what that means is we currently have Tier 1 as Marion Health, because they are providing us a direct agreement for lower cost fees for service than what we can purchase through any other network in this area. So Marion Health is continuing to offer a direct contract with better pricing for all of the members of Grant County government for 2024. So members are incentivized to utilize Marion Health at that Tier 1 pricing, which provides better deductibles and cost shares for members. We are recommending to retain UMR as the TPA, which also includes the United Healthcare Network, which is a Tier 2 benefit. We are recommending to retain Optum RX as the pharmacy benefit manager due to less disruption for employees and total plan costs, including just the rebate position we've been able to receive. We're recommending stop loss with Tokyo Marine HCC, which is your current stop loss provider as well, due to their competitive pricing. There was a slight increase due to stop loss hits this year, but the aggregate factors, meaning what they're expecting claims to be, and the max claims is actually decreasing for 2024. We are recommending to retain that stop loss specific deductible at $200,000. We are recommending to obtain an organ transplant coverage, which is a rider on top of your benefit plan to avoid any future risk. We are recommending the removal of the spousal carve-out to capture more plan participants. We are recommending to maintain employee contributions to be the same for 2024, meaning no increases for employees. The last time there was any increase was in 2020, but we do recommend considering an increase in future years just due to the increase in trends. Currently, all claims are running at about 61% of expected. So, kudos to all of you for making those cost containment decisions, for members for taking advantage of all of the wellness and, other incentives that are available, but also, maintaining chronic conditions, seeing providers as you should. All of that helps us to retain and maintain healthy levels of spend for our medical and pharmacy programs. We are recommending that we retain United Healthcare for vision, critical illness, and accident for 2024. These are all in rate holds as well, and no plan design changes. We're recommending a move for group term life, voluntary life, short-term and long-term disability to One America. They are a great carrier, and when it comes to group term life, voluntary life, short-term and long-term disability products, they're great with paying claims, and it's also providing savings for the group and members. We're recommending that you retain dental with Delta Dental. There will be no plan design or rate changes for 2024. We're recommending that you continue with WellWorks for You with the wellness program just to validate the incentives on premiums for 2025, since there are those wellness credits and incentives for members. We also recommend continuing with on-site screenings through Marion Health. I believe that really benefited employees, and we did see an increase in participation on the wellness program. Again, the goal of those programs is just to really help members to, better protect themselves when it comes to their health outcomes. So if for some reason maybe somebody has high blood pressure and they weren't aware, or you have something like an A1C that could be, pre-diabetic or in the diabetic category, these screenings do help members to, control any type of situations that could be emerging with their health. We do recommend a shift to Employee Navigator for the benefit administration for 2024's open enrollment. That benefit administration system will include access to the 1094, 1095 reporting. We are recommending a move of COBRA administration through a vendor called BBP, which is a vendor through Employee Navigator, and an open enrollment for 2024 to be hosted during the days of November 13th through November 30th of 2023. So overall, with all of these recommendations, we are in a really good financial position with this fund and your benefits, just because of the cost containment strategies, the decisions that have been made, the continuous management and maintenance of your program, employee engagement, employees making the right decisions with their health and outcomes of that. I do want to, give a shout out to Justin and all of you commissioners for being heavily engaged in this program, and Nancy as well. It is something that we work on almost every single day to maintain this and making sure that everybody's positioned well with your plan. So with that being said, those are all of my recommendations for 2024. Does anybody have any questions?
Questions, comments?
I'll make a comment. I love when we can keep things a lot the same,
Yes.
where our employees don't have to change up things and figure out a whole new system and things like that. The only one that I was going to question, just for my knowledge, when you're moving the group term life, and I take it that's only term, that's not whole life, that's not right. So there's not funds sitting someplace else that our people's going to have to move or anything like that. Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's just, truly more of a transaction based on the county provides everybody with a group term life benefit. And that is just going to transfer to a new carrier on January 1st. Yes.
When it comes to voluntary life, explain that one to me.
Yeah, so that's an exciting thing where employees can purchase up to a guarantee issue amount with no medical questions being asked
Okay.
for 2024. So let's say you had that opportunity when you guys first moved to United Healthcare, which is the current carrier, and you had the option to say buy an extra $100,000 of life insurance with no medical questions asked. There's usually a one-time guarantee issue period that either occurs typically when there's a change of carrier or you're a new hire inside of that waiting period. If you waive benefits at that time, that's absolutely fine. But you have the option to always enroll it in the future, but it requires an evidence of insurability, meaning kind of a health questionnaire. So with this move to One America, employees have the option to purchase additional life insurance with no medical questions being asked. So that'll be something that we'll really want to highlight during this open enrollment. So thank you for asking that question. Definitely a good benefit for your employees, and the county saving dollars on your premiums with the move. So it's a win-win for everyone. And the voluntary life is at the cost of the employee. So, it is a payroll deduction, but it's an easy way to add life insurance, without having to go through maybe a long underwriting process, blood draws, different things like that. So.
Thank you.
I just wanted to echo kind of what Michelle said. I know Nancy and Justin worked hard on this, spent a lot of time on it, and I just wanted to thank you guys for your diligence and for what you've done on it. With that said, if there's no other questions, I'll make a motion that we accept the insurance renewal proposal as presented.
Second that.
Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright, to accept the recommended benefits renewal package as presented. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your work.
all. Thank you.
We've seen some significant savings in the past, and again, we've adjusted to see, I hope, some new savings and more benefits.
Mhm.
So that's great. Sheriff's Union contract, we have been working through that with the Sheriff's Union as well as the council negotiators and the sheriff. Our portion, of course, is strictly on policy. We have agreed to some request for retirees insurance when it comes to the union. And I would recommend that we adopt our portion, signing it when the term immediately is changed to January 1st of 2024, because that's when our new health insurance and stuff kicks in. So I would move that we adopt with that change from immediate to January 1st of 2024. So if you're amenable to that, we can move to approve the union contract with that caveat.
The president would actually, you would authorize him to sign that once the language is changed to effective 1/1.
I'll make a motion, Mr. President, that we pass the request, and we'll start that January 1st of 2024. That's it.
I think that covers it.
I'll second that motion.
Motion, Mr. Wright, and second, Mr. Stewart, on the approval of the sheriff's union agreement as corrected from immediate to beginning January 1st of 2024. All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. It is carried. going to presentation of an ARPA spending plan. This is something that we've been working on since we received the $12.7 million from the ARPA program, the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. We've had Mr. Connor Sullivan join us. He's helped us to put this together. And the idea is that there are certain areas that the ARPA money can be used for. Then the Senate in the United States Congress determined that a certain portion up to $10 million could be captured as loss recovery money that can be used in a broader span. And Connor's going to give us a little bit to what we've got in front of us.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. As you all know, you guys have received $12.7 million. You previously passed a resolution that accepted the funds and created a fund line item that is required by the American Rescue Plan Act and also the Indiana State Board of Accounts. Today is the ARPA spending plan, which is a legally required step that outlines generally what Grant County is intending to use these ARPA funds for. The plan, without adopting this plan, you cannot spend any of the ARPA money, which would unfortunately stymie quite a bit of projects that I know you guys have upcoming. And some important things to keep in mind, if the money is not allocated by the end of 2024, Grant County will lose the funding and it will likely go to a city that has a plan in place. And right now, I think the indication is, whether it's, a city like Chicago, Detroit, and more than likely Indianapolis. So it is important today that the Grant County Commissioners approve the ordinance that adopts the plan. The 4 permitted uses within the plan are that Grant County can use it for anything related to COVID, whether that's, detriment to the tourism industry, detriment to public health and safety. Those are some broad strokes. The second concept would be premium pay for employees. The third is revenue reduction, which the American Rescue Plan Act does permit a standard allowance of up to $10 million for revenue reduction. That revenue reduction can be used for anything that is related to government service, which is, as Commissioner Bardsley said, that is a flexible mechanism to inject that money right back into the county and to get, whether it's projects or just, whatever service that Grant County provides to the general public. And the fourth permitted use, which the plan adopts, is that Grant County can use these funds for environmental related matters, broadband, water, sewer, and that's and it's a kind of a catch-all, but it does have quite a bit of, EPA and IDEM regulations, so you want to be careful looking at that. But again, today the plan is just a very broad scope that says that Grant County will use the funds for any permitted purpose that is legally permitted under the American Rescue Plan Act, Indiana Code, and any other state board of accounts or Department of Local Governance Finance regulation or memorandum of understanding. And again, I want to emphasize that this is the second step that you guys have to do. And I understand that there is money that has been agreed upon for other projects that desperately might need to happen. You can't spend any of that money until this plan is adopted by you guys as the Board of Commissioners for Grant County. And the last thing I want to touch on as well is the plan does elect for a standard deduction, or the standard election of $10 million revenue reduction. Again, that's more of a reporting item, but it does provide the county with flexibility to get that money spent in a timely manner because that deadline is looming. I know end of 24 is a little over a year away, but as we all know, projects take a long time. There's lead time for projects too. And so if you can't get that money ready to go, there is a serious chance that the county could lose those funds. It would go somewhere else that would use the money for Lord knows what else. But that is generally what the plan is for. If there's any questions or concerns, I'm more than happy to go over that. But again, this is the second step that you must take before you do anything else. So that's important to note.
So we'll need an ordinance number.
Yeah, we need an ordinance number to enact this. Be ordinance number 9, 2023.
So just a question.
Yes, sir.
We we approved 4 ambulances earlier in the year. The problem is that they're so behind to go ahead and get us those ambulances. My understanding, we could use the money the way it's appropriated now in these 4 buckets that you're talking about, that the ambulance is good. But if they are not here by the time, we could stand to lose that money.
Yes,
Correct.
that is correct, Commissioner. So with the way the plan sets it up, you could pay for those ambulances out of the revenue reduction portion of the plan. If you, and again, it's more of a reporting requirement. I know that the county's enlisted KSM to help with that. If you can document it up, which is an easy process to do, you can show that you are paying, as you spend the money for the ambulances, as long as they get here by the end of 26, you're fine with that purpose. So you have to have it spent or allocated to be ready to be spent for an identified item, which it sounds like you have ambulances lined up, or at least that's the idea for it.
We're like
It's-
2 years out.
Yeah, as long as they get here by
That's
26,
what
end of
concerns me. I
26.
mean, you know, if we've earmarked that money for these ambulances and the ambulances don't make it in time, then
You would
that
have-
money just kind of
goes away.
goes away, right?
Yeah, and if you sign the purchase order at that
Where,
point, you
where if we did this, we could go ahead and,
spin it and get that ready. Yes, sir. And that's a good example too. If you don't, some of these things take some serious lead time, and it's good to get this plan in place so that you can start putting this money back into the community, and so you meet those deadlines. Because another issue, if you did purchase an item or, you know, something and it goes past one of those deadlines, you know, those deadlines are there, and there's a chance you'd have to, if you've already, you know, spent money or, you know, signed agreements for things, you might be on the hook and the funds can be taken away. So it is advisable to get this done today so that you can start moving forward and implementing the rest of your plan. So yes, that your understanding is correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes.
Steve, the latest were just last week, just the first one will be delivered in February, one in March.
okay,
Next year.
of 2024.
February, March, and then 2 in April, and we can arrange with the financing.
Yeah.
I talked to Justin about it.
Okay.
Good.
This plan would put you closer to be able to purchase those ambulances. Yes.
Other clarification? So we have before us the opportunity to enact ordinance number 9, 2023, an ordinance adopting plan for distribution of proceeds for Grant County from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. For you, if you gentlemen are interested in making a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve ordinance number 9-2023.
Second.
Motion with support. Any further discussion? Again, we set the all, put this in motion when we got the money. We actually had to put it into an account. Now this has given us the opportunity to start spending, which I think, yes, city's interested in us being ready to spend too.
I would think so.
Very much.
All right. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright. All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye. It is carried. Want to say thank you.
Yes.
Thanks,
Colin,
Colin.
for your work. How long did you work to put this together? I'm just putting it down for the record.
It's to keep it general like that. I think Justin actually did most of the heavy lifting, to tell you the truth. I think maybe last week, Justin gave me a call and we started putting this together. So it didn't take much time, but again, this is just the first step for it and to make sure you guys are in compliance with it. Yeah, I think Justin did most of the heavy lifting for us.
Well, I greatly appreciate it
Yes.
because in a week's time, you accomplished what we couldn't get done in almost a year from another source. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Again, I thank you, Justin. Like I say, called me, I think, was it a week ago today, and he probably spent more time on the phone with me than he cares to have, and I got it taken care of. So thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot.
We have on our new business, the Sweetser Switch or trail proposal, Steve, and we had talked about the the possibility of maybe tabling this until after we got through the
plan,
the ARPA money
the ARPA plan,
situation.
yes. And so I
agree.
yeah, I would like to pull that and we'll hold that off once we get to the place where we can go ahead and spend that money.
Okay, so we'll table that until after we get that through the process, and also have a ambulance agreement ratification form. Mr. Ashcraft had helped us, the Marion Health had gone through a problem and they were in need of use of an ambulance, and the county had one ambulance agreement put together between our attorneys and Marion Health attorneys. I pre-approved the county side of things because they were literally needing the ambulance last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have before you a stamped signed agreement between CFO of Marion Health and President of Board of Commissioners, both dated on 10/10/23. And I bring that to you because we need to actually ratify that agreement.
I love partnerships like this where our local medical come to us in time of need, and we're able to step up to the plate, and appreciate our EMA and EMS group to go ahead and help us out with that. So there's no other comment or anything like that. I would make a motion to ratify the ambulance lease agreement with Marion Health.
I'll second Mr. Wright's motion.
Motion, Mr. Wright, and second, Mr. Stewart, on the ambulance agreement ratification. All those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It is carried. Thank you. Next item up under new business, we have, it's a bid read. It's actually we had a request for proposals that was sent out, reference the boiler chiller project that serves this building and the jail. We have 4 boilers, and at this point, half of them are not working. We needed to move more expeditiously. The council has already said that we can use 1.3 million of the ARPA funds, but we weren't able to spend it until we get this process going. We have requested RFPs. The RFPs did come in, and we had a meeting last week,
Thursday.
Thursday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 groups that expressed interest with their RFPs, request for proposals. One was Brewer Garrett of Ohio, and the second group was Amoresco out of the Indianapolis area. Both have national presence and we've gone through an interview process. We've interviewed both companies, and the idea that I'm hearing would be that we are interested in pursuing one particular group, that being Amoresco, because they are an Indiana company and we've worked with them in the past. There is definitely an urgency with 2 of our boilers down. If the others go out, we will literally be spending the same amount of money to replace these as we will on the rentals for machines to keep us going right now. So we could be looking catastrophically at $2.3+ million instead of a $1.3 million project. And this build, operate, transfer process is helping us to keep the cost down. So I would recommend that we go with the Amoresco group, and then have a public hearing on November the 6th on the boiler chiller project. Have I covered the bases on that? Is that fair?
Yes, that is.
Mr. Sullivan, you've helped us with this BOT concept. Is there anything that you need to add right now?
No, just that, Commissioners, you guys are following the statutory steps required that will permit Grant County to receive that guaranteed max price, which is protected by Indiana code, which is one of the very reasons why a BOT procurement method is sought after, so that that guaranteed max price is protected. And once you get that agreed upon, you're good to go. But this is the next step, you're correct, Commissioner, is the public hearing. And so you are following those steps as you're intended to for statutory purposes.
So we would recommend that we follow through with the Amoresco and to continue the scoping period with Amoresco, having a public hearing on November the 6th at our next regular session and advertise accordingly. So that's, again, before us, and we'll need to act on that.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the boiler chiller project. And we are going with Amoresco as you and Mr. Connor just presented. I'll approve all that as presented. Mr. Sullivan, I'm sorry.
I'll second that.
And that was with the November 6th.
November 6th.
November
public
6th.
hearing.
Yes, sir.
Right. Motion, Mr. Stewart, second, Mr. Wright. Any other discussion or comments on this process since it's new? We've never done it this way before.
Well, I think it just, again, this is another one of these that we really need to make sure that we can get those funds, our hands on those funds. For those who don't know, the lead time on boilers is a long time. And again, to try to get them in the time that we need them and it's a scary thought. I agree with Mr. Bardsley when it comes to, I don't want to rent something that we can go ahead and pay for and have our own. And it's the same or even more money.
Yep.
So again, to have that kind of, ability to spend those funds, I think it's imperative that we do this.
Yep.
So,
I
yeah.
agree.
Just a quick question for Mr. Sullivan. As far as the advertisement's concerned, it has to be, is it 10 days prior to?
10 days prior to the public hearing,
One
just
public-
one publication. It does require that the two proposals and a brief summary of why the potential developer, in this case Amoresco, was selected to be available for public inspection. That can either be at the auditor's office or at Justin's as the county's director of administration's office. Wherever it is, it just needs to be available for the public to view it during that 10-day period prior to the hearing. But other things I usually commonly recommend is putting it in 3 conspicuous places, whether that's, on the courthouse door, whether it's on this building's door, the juvenile center's door, something like that, just in case if there ever is a miscalculation with the local paper or something like that. You can always fall back on the statute and say, hey, we posted it in 3 conspicuous places too, so that it is out there. And today is also another step that it kind of helps go. It does help for transparency purposes, and in case there were an issue with publication requirements, that you guys put this out on the record too. So that's just another safety, CYA action that you guys have taken today. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other thoughts, comments, clarification? We're ready to vote.
Mhm.
All those in favor would say aye.
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 Aye, it is carried. And we will take that next step in working on this boiler chiller project.
Does Amoresco need to have a representative at the November 6th meeting?
I would think it would be good.
Yes, I would advise them that they should have Justin or someone reach out to them and let them know that someone should be here for it. Just because, like I said, it is a public hearing, and it would be good to have them there if there are questions that they might be able to answer that are technical in nature, which is what you're hiring them for, right? So I think that would be a wise decision, commissioners. Yes.
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
All right, I believe that we've covered items under new business. Are you aware of other items that we've missed?
No, sir.
All righty. At this time, the public's invited to speak before the board. Please approach the podium when recognized by the president, stating your name, address, concerns, or comments. No complaints, accusations, or name calling regarding personnel can be allowed during the public discussion time. Time of 3 minutes will be given. If more than one person is representing a group, only one spokesperson will be heard. It's expected professionalism, courtesy, and is displayed at all times during public comments portion of the meeting. We'll open that up first online. Any public comments from folks on WebEx? Not seeing any action. Thank you. In-house, anyone like to address the Board of Commissioners? Right? It wasn't 12 minutes, guys, but it was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Not
For
bad.
for you, that's pretty good.
A lot of things on this agenda. There wasn't on my agenda.
Our next meeting is scheduled for November 6th. We will be having a public hearing reference to the boiler chiller project and any of our other usual business. So until then, we are adjourned. Thank you.
We're in recess.
Excuse me, we are in recess. That is correct.
Right.